seems like when they're doing it, whoever the character or the role, it's beyond like, you know what I'm saying? It's like just like just transcending. So, I mean, you're on both sides of it, and I'm wondering, does a manager have to manage the performer part, who's the business part, and then when they're in that role, if they're like really in it, you know, like if they've transcended themselves, do you have to talk to them differently, be a different, or do you have to, and you have to protect them in a way because they're all like open in a way, you know, to the character and to the venues and the people. And I think from what I gathered, you said it can be very competitive and kind of a little nasty out there too.
Oh, it's extremely competitive. I always tell people when I first start working with them that I don't just manage the career, I work with the whole person. Because I would much rather look at the entirety of someone and see how I can help them than just say, this is my job, this is what I do, and keep it that rigid. So I absolutely hear what you're saying about transcending that one character, right? Or taking on
or several, whichever.
Yes, exactly. So most of the people I work with, they don't just have one character. They might do a couple of celebrity impersonations. One of my girls does great Ariana Grande impersonations, another does great Marilyn Monroe, and so on and so forth. But truly, each of them have their own character that they bring to the table. And I would say a lot of it just comes from the aspects of their own femininity, their own gender expression that they didn't really have a chance to explore throughout earlier stages of their life, and that drag gave them an opportunity to do that. So it becomes this very vulnerable thing where it opens up a different part of themselves, and they get to, you know how when you make a joke there might be still a little kernel of truth in it? It's sort of like that with drag. When they get into face and when they get on the stage, sure, it's putting on an act, but usually that comes from a little kernel of truth within themselves too. And so working with them, it's partially finding that and nurturing that, and then helping them protect it if it gets too vulnerable.
Right, right. And you do something, well, I don't know, because I don't know that many managers in your field, but I think it sets you apart. Your clients have the, I don't call it open door policy, but when if it's performance night, which is almost every night, they can, and if especially, well, wherever they are, they can come. But if it's like in the area of where your apartment is, I don't want to give out all that information.
Sure.
They come over, get ready, get undone, get done and undone. It's a real family. It's like, so how is that, and how do you create, maybe your boundary list, but how do you, talk about how that evolves. Does it just help them be more present for their...
Sure. Well, I'm extremely selective about the people I work with. I wouldn't want to work with anyone who I wouldn't want to spend time with when I'm not working.
Right.
And so that, I think, eases the situation a little bit to have more loose boundaries. But I'll really do whatever they need in terms of providing something for them, whether it's a safe space to get ready, or we've filmed a couple of times different segments in the apartment, or we have a great sponsorship with Krylon, who has allowed us access to their makeup studio to film things there, or to take on opportunities there. So we all sort of function as this strange type of family, I would say. There's a strong sense of community within drag and within nightlife. And so, the fact that we all care deeply for one another, and certainly, the clients that I work with would do the same things for each other as I do for them. Many of them will open their homes to one another. Now, of course, there are limits to that.